I didn't tell her I was leaving. No long message. No final argument. No dramatic goodbye. I just left. Because by the time I realized how much it was hurting me to stay, she had already stopped noticing I was there. So I packed quietly, left the keys on the counter, and walked out of her life without a word. I thought she'd be relieved. I thought she moved on. Honestly, I believed she'd barely flinch. Until one night, months later, I heard a knock on my door, and there she was, standing in the rain, holding her heart in her hands. We were together for 2.5 years. It wasn't perfect, but it was home, at least for me. She was fire and chaos and poetry, and I was the quiet one, the one who waited patiently, held space, made room for all the versions of her she kept trying to figure out. But somewhere along the way, she stopped choosing me. It wasn't obvious at first, just a missed good morning here, a canceled dinner there, less eye contact, more scrolling, and the silence between us grew louder than any argument ever could. I remember the night it clicked for me. We were sitting on the couch. I was talking about my day, something small, something dumb probably, and she was looking at her phone. She didn't even hear me, didn't pretend to. That's when I realized she had already left the relationship. I was just the one still physically in it. So the next morning, I left. Quietly. Without blame. Without begging for her to notice me one last time. And I convinced myself that if she ever cared, she'd reach out. But she didn't. Months passed. I moved cities. Started over. Did everything they say you should do after heartbreak. Gym. Therapy. New friends. New routines. And it helped. Not all at once. But little by little. I stopped checking my phone for her name. Stopped wondering if she missed me. Because if she had, she would have said something, right? She would have knocked. It was a Thursday night. Quiet. Normal. I had just gotten back from the store when I heard it. 3 slow knocks. At first, I thought it was my neighbor. But when I opened the door, my whole body went still. It was her. Hair damp from the rain. Eyes red. That oversized hoodie she used to wear when she was anxious still hanging off her like armor. She didn't say anything at first. Neither did I. She just stared at me like she was waiting to wake up. Then finally, she spoke. You didn't say goodbye. I leaned against the doorframe, unsure if I wanted to let her in or close the door for good. You stopped saying hello, I said quietly. She looked down, bit her lip like she used to when she was nervous. I know, she whispered, and I'm sorry. I stepped aside. Let her in. We sat in silence for a while. Just like old-time sex, except this silence wasn't full of tension. It was full of questions neither of us knew how to ask. Finally, she pulled something from her pocket. A photo. Of us? From the early days. Before things got messy. Before we got too comfortable and forgot how to hold each other with care. I found this yesterday, she said, and I lost it. She wiped her eyes. You didn't deserve the way I drifted. I didn't even realize how far I'd pulled away until you were gone. And by then, I thought it was too late. It was, I said softly. She nodded. I know. I don't expect anything. I just needed you to know. It wasn't because I didn't care. It was because I was so overwhelmed. I forgot how to show it. I looked at her. At the girl I had once wanted to marry. At the silence between us that had once been so loud. And I felt something I hadn't expected. Peace. Because for the first time, she wasn't pretending. She wasn't defending. She was just honest. Why now? I asked. She shrugged. Because healing taught me to take responsibility. Not just for what I did, but for what I didn't do. And the way you left, quietly, that haunted me more than any fight would have. I sighed. I didn't want to hurt you. But you did, she whispered. And you had every right to. She reached for the door. I just wanted you to know I never stopped loving you. I just didn't know how to love you right. She started to walk out. But just before she did, she turned back one more time. "Thank you," she said, "for not yelling, for not lashing out, for leaving with dignity even when I didn't deserve it." I didn't stop her, didn't follow her, but I'll admit, that night, after she left, I stared at that photo for a long time. And for the first time in months, the weight in my chest didn't feel so heavy. To anyone listening, sometimes love doesn't end with fireworks. Sometimes it ends with a quiet step out the door. And sometimes, the people who let you go too easily will be the ones haunted by the goodbye you never said. If this story touched something in you, drop a comment. Because healing isn't loud. It's soft. And it starts the moment you choose yourself without needing them to choose you first.